Man, I was blessed by that. I really appreciated what Imani Yvette said, be light, be salt, marketplace evangelism. And you know, sometimes we do get confused and think that the Lord's only calling us in certain tracks, or there's only certain ways to follow the Lord. But he can take our paths in all types of different industries and fields, and we need more marketplace evangelists, people who are really living out their faith in different industries and different fields. And so I want to let you know that something that you can get a part of today is becoming a Faith and Education Coalition member. If you care about education equality and ensuring that every child has access to quality education, then you'll want to get involved. So watch this video and find out how you can join today.
Whenever the church gets involved, things happen and change. I mean, I know my father, Martin Luther King Jr., was the head of one of the preeminent movements for social change in the world. And it was faith leaders who led that movement. And so faith, we need the faith community to get involved and get involved directly.
Welcome back to the Raising the Standard show. I'm thrilled that we're talking about study tips. So this is our practical segment of our show where we really try to get into the nitty gritty. And so we're here with a few experts on studying. And so we want to go around and talk about what is your number one tip that you would give someone watching at home on how to study. So we'll start with Dr. Reyes and then we'll move on to Esmeralda.
So I think the most important thing you can do is when you study, think in your mind, I'm going to be teaching this. So if you just study to study, well, that's one thing. Or if you just study to take a test, that's another thing. But if you study thinking, I need to learn this so well that today, tomorrow, soon, just like you had to do with David and Goliath, you know, somebody's going to ask me to teach this. In fact, it might be good for you to go practice teaching this information to your mom or to your dad. And that way you have it really, you've got to really understand it, learn it, know it, and be able to give it right back.
That's good. Really good. I really love that. Okay.
That is really good. I think that will help a lot with retaining information. So I think for me, one of the things that I used to do was I used to cram. So the night before a test, the night before an exam, I would just spend hours and hours trying to cram that information in. But actually, I've heard that a more effective way of studying is to actually divide that time into 30-minute sections. So 30-minute chunks across a month or across a certain amount of time. And you actually, that actually helps you retain that information more and actually helps your brain just get accustomed to shorter periods of times of studying instead of cramming everything all in one night. That's actually detrimental to retaining information.
Yeah, I would think it's like sort of like making a pie or making something in the kitchen. If you do everything and pour it in right away, it's not going to come out the way that you want it to. The timing is important to space it out like that.
And I think when you cramp, sometimes you also don't get a lot of sleep. So you're out late studying, and so it's not really good when you're going into an exam with little sleep.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Pastor Ray?
Well, I agree with Dr. Reyes. In my studying time, if I look at it and understand that this is something I may have to teach, that challenges me to do a lot better. Another thing that I would also challenge is setting aside a certain amount of time. We're creatures of procrastination. I know in the city there were so many things that I had opportunities to do, but to be able to set that time, especially in college, we go in, we take the classes, and then don't realize how time flies, and then we're crunching because we're procrastinating on midterms, finals, and so forth. So having a set schedule and understanding that this is a time I have to study and I'll do this every day is so important.
That makes so much sense because we set aside that time for class, right? So you know from 9 to 10 I'm going to be there, but you could also do the same thing with studying. Like I'm going to study from 5 to 6 or from 6 to 7, and that way
make
you're
it a
knowing.
habit.
To do.
And so what he's saying is don't wait to the last minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plan ahead. Study along the way instead of waiting for the day before the test.
Yeah, map out, get a calendar, map out all of your tests, and then figure out how you're going to lead up to that. So some of mine would be, I cannot study for prolonged periods of time. I take it in 20-minute increments. So I will study hard for 20 minutes, then I'll get up, I'll walk around, I'll call a friend, I'll have kind of a break, like 5 to 10 minutes, get some water, and then I'll go back in. But I need these 20-minute just breaks for my mind breaks is what I call them. It helped me to have some music because I am similar to you that I like a little bit of background music. So I might find a Netflix show or a certain CD or just YouTube videos that I would of an artist that I really like, and I would have that going on in the background. And it's sort of like I knew once I heard that song, it was study time. And even if it was a random person that was not necessarily connected to my studying. So anyway, we want you to know that we care about your study habits. We believe that God is going to use you in whatever field that he's calling you to do. And learning how to be the best studier is really important. So check out what's happening across our country, and we'll be right back.
I think that our biggest problem with our education system is that in different school districts, different states, the goalposts are in different locations. The kids are just not receiving the same quality of education that they do in certain districts.
Hey, welcome back. We've been talking about studying today, and such a great show. Lots of nuggets for you at home and for me as well. I've heard some different tips that I hadn't heard before. What stands out to you?
I think one thing that stands out to me that was mentioned at the beginning of the show, and then also that our challenge with Yvette also brought up, is really that everything that we do in our studying time is unto the Lord. So that we're doing that unto the Lord. It's not so much about the student that's next to us or how someone else does or that we're in competition, but really that we're doing all our work, all our studying, our grades are really all something that we offer to the Lord.
Yeah, that it's really, it's an opportunity to worship. And so when we think about studying from that perspective, it changes our studying experience. We're able to set aside and pray before studying. I think that would be a tip that I would give to people at home is dedicate that time unto the Lord and say, Lord, I'm going to be studying for 2 hours, 5 hours, 30 minutes. This belongs to you, though, so please help it to be used for my purpose, why you've put me here on earth.
Yes, and even to take some time to take a break and say, Lord, I'm not really understanding this information. Can you open up my mind to really understand and process what this information is talking about?
Yeah, or connect me to the person that can, opening up, help me to know which tutor I need to be connected to or what resource I need to be connected to. The other thing that I didn't mention earlier is that it's been shown that if you revisit the same information within 24 hours, you'll retain the information longer. So if you get presented the information, go back that night or within 24 hours and check it out again, then it'll be easier for you to remember it the next time. But we just appreciate you opening up your home and letting us share these things with you. And we want to continue to encourage you to raise the standards at home and help your students to know how to love the Lord